Welcome to EveryPhotoPro. If you're going to be interested in doing snowflake photography for the very first time, this is your video. And the reason why is because I kid you not, 1 week and a half ago, I took that picture. And I'm very proud of said picture, but you need to know, I know already, it's not the best. However, I want to show you the recipe and what I did to get that picture to happen using a camera body and the lens that I did. And one of the other things that I'm looking for is people who are better at it to basically make comments, because I'm interested in learning how to do better. And then when I do, I'm going to come back and take the pictures again. That said, though, it doesn't mean that I can't help you showing the recipe that I followed to get that particular shot. So that is what I'm going to basically go through with. And if anything comes up, remember, throw it into the comments and we'll continue on from the conversation there. Now, to take an elephant out of the room, I need you guys to know that I'm a total OM system fanboy. And so that said, you have to be aware that this is the OM1 from OM System, which is the Mark II. And I'm using the purpose-made macro lens from Olympus, which is a 60mm 1:1 ratio. So this camera body and this lens knew that I was going to be taking pictures of something really, really small, which helps with this whole process. The lens is what matters, because that way it will communicate to the body saying, hey, you know what, I'm a macro lens in particular. I'm going to be taking something really, really small. Please be ready for that when I do my autofocus. So please know my main suggestion is to make sure that you have a macro lens to whatever body that you currently have. Please know that everything is going to be based off of using this particular body and this particular lens. The right tools to basically make it happen. And so one of the first things I'm going to recommend, and you might have read about, was the fact that you want to use a non-permeable material for the snow to fall onto. You want to have it outdoors for about 15-20 minutes prior to you getting started, because obviously you don't want the snow to start melting the moment it starts touching the material. Non-permeable plastics is a suggestion. This is the footboard of one of those IKEA footboards that you normally would use to capture the snow off of your shoes. And I just flipped it upside down and I used that as a material. Any plastic bottomed item that is flat will do the trick. Some people like to use cloth and they like to use paper, but snow melts generally even when it's outdoors. So guess what? That's just going to make things soggy. I use salt right here as kind of a makeshift material because obviously I'm doing things indoors. As for the recipe for the camera, remember the lens itself was 60mm. It's a 2.8 aperture, which is what I stuck with. The raw format was basically chosen for it. And then on top of that, at that time, I was using 1/500th for my shutter. I might drop it down just a little bit more, but that's kind of a little bit of a work in progress kind of thing. The other thing that I did was that I set it to auto ISO. Now, I probably shouldn't have, but I did. And why that's important to bring up is the fact that the shot that you saw was at 2000 ISO. I was still able to save it and obviously show you that shot, but that's how I know I can do a little bit better. And that's the reason why, for instance, I have this flash gun here about to take this next shot, because then with this thing set, I can drop the ISO down to 200. That also brings up the other aspects, which is I do have it on a sequential shot. And the other aspect is that I do like to do the center weighted and continuous autofocus. Very important features if your camera can definitely do it. Now, the other thing that I highly recommend, and if you have the articulating, make sure that you aim it at yourself and hold the camera at the height that basically makes the macro work best. That way you can do this little scanning mode, right? You look at the screen and then that way you can basically decide what you're looking for. Oh, I see something pretty here. Let me see if the camera can capture it. It can. And shots. And then again. Then I would show, here we go, boom. See? I'll make sure to show it a little bit better on the actual screen. But you need to know that snow is going to come in clumps, right? And some of them are going to be really, really, really tiny, and some of them are going to be actually pretty well sized. That one snowflake was actually a pretty decent size. You can see the snowflake aspect of it and its form and profile. That enabled me to take that picture, and that enabled me to do the shot that you saw. I am going to stop right there because I don't want to go any further about this recipe setup and or this picture setup, because I admit that I still need to do more work next time around. However, I was hoping that you guys would be able to ask a few more questions through your comments if you're interested in, because that way you'll be able to basically set that up too. Again, I did the TTL when it came to the flash gun, which is going to be my next move every single time, because I heard that you can do rainbow shots with those snowflakes when the flash is going off. So there's my next move when it comes to there. Again, if you have any questions, set it up in the comments. I'll be more than happy to hear about them. And thank you very much for listening into this particular episode on EveryPhotoPro.